So I was consulting to a guy, Brand, he's an inventor, and he invented this thing. And he got some advice from his outsourced manufacturer, and he spent his retirement, mortgaged his house, and bought a boatload of inventory.
Wow.
Filled up his garage. No more retirement. His wife is pissed off. Came to me and said, I need to start selling. It was a bad plan. Because
if you buy it, they will come.
if you build it, put it in your garage, and don't tell anybody you have it.
Oh man.
It's like ninja
I'm gonna buy it with no strategy sitting behind it.
You don't even know you need this. Wait until they need it. It's problematic when I'm advising small business, get customers before you get inventory.
Right.
Because this is costing you money and this is making you money. And if line out your supply chain, understand how you're going to get those things. Try to get a nail on how long it's going to take for you to get somebody to pick, pack, and ship or make whatever it is you're selling, or how long is it going to take you to make those things. But get a customer first.
Right, yeah.
Get somebody who's willing to give you money.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll pay you in advance, but don't build inventory until you actually have a person who might want it.
So I think that's a really good point, is start with the customer, understand your target market, and make some sales. And then you can refine your processes as you go along, you know.
Well, in the beginning, those people that are going to become your customers are a lot more flexible, right? They understand where you are, right? If you have good communication with these people, right, they're a lot more willing to wait, right, or and be part of the process, because that can be kind of exciting for someone to, you know, be getting this in the beginning, right? Okay, I understand you're not there yet. You're gonna have to build it, right? But that's the relationship building piece of it that's always on the salesperson, right? That's at the forefront all the time.
And it's a balancing act, right? You've got, especially at the start, you're managing lead times, right? So this can happen in 5 days. Oh crap, we're getting too many sales, which is a good problem to have. Now it's 10 days.
Yeah.
Well, I would push out lead time to respond to sales rather than make sure the lead time's really, really short, anticipating sales. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you're managing that balancing act, you'd rather have somebody else waiting for you to deliver, because that'll create urgency and passion behind the scenes, rather than have rotting fruit sitting on the shelf hoping they sell what you're going to be selling. We moved from owning a company that I worked with in Seattle. We owned our inventory until we realized, well, if I have visibility into where we're getting our inventory, then I don't need to hold the inventory. I can just get it when somebody places an order. And so we remodeled our entire supply chain process to only order things until we had an order waiting. And cash conversion and DSO was amazing, because we decided to look at supply chain upstream rather than just look at sales and make sure we had enough inventory. I remember we had $250,000, which is a lot of mouse pads. We went into our warehouse, we had $250,000 worth of mouse pads, and all I saw was mouse pads. I saw $250,000, and I went, oh my God, who's going to need $250,000 worth of mouse pads?
Yeah, I always go, Nova Solar was a really interesting company, right? Back in the day, because it was constant. Back to the supply chain thing, right? It's not just COVID, right? This has always been there at some levels, right? And for smaller companies, it's always been there.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to figure it out, and you don't have ways to navigate, whether it's financially, technically, right? Whatever that component might be.
Right.
And it was constant at a Novus, where, you know, you were selling something and then you had it and you were happy, and maybe mine went out and yours didn't.
Yeah.
And now you're unhappy because, well, I just sold to the Army, right?
Yeah.
And this is a way bigger deal, right?
And you sold to Joe Blow down the street.
But because it was FIFO, first in, first out, right? Mine went first because I got my PO first. And yours, even though yours was much bigger, and now you've got someone that you're trying to explain that. So, I mean, everything goes back to communication, right? I mean, that's the core behind everything. If you're not communicating, you know, with your purchasing, you know, with inventory, if you're not communicating properly with sales, right, and you don't have open, honest dialogue, everything becomes a bigger challenge.
Yeah,
right.
You said something that reminded me. One thing we haven't talked about is, especially for startups and people just beginning their business, and a lot of people go into business because they want to make donuts and they love what they do, or they want to do whatever the hell they are. understand cash flow, learn about where your money is,
Right.
make sure you're watching that closely, especially at the beginning, because you'll run out of that before you run out of inventory and before you run out of sales. And so you've got to make sure that you have a deep understanding of where's the money, how much money's tied up in what, and where are we going to sit, and build yourself 3, 6, 9 months. How long is this? Cliff management, right? You want to manage when do we fall off the cliff, right? And so where is that?
Runway.
So underneath all of that is cash flow.
Right.
It's better to have your money in your bank, or better OPM, other people's money in your bank, and not a lot on your shelves, because you need to think of your inventory as money on the shelf.
Right. And I guess it's going to be different depending on your model and your company, and you're going to have to figure that out with your employees, right? That totally makes sense.